What's up, guys? Week 3, day 2 of the current cycle. So really the kind of warm up today was a lot of more of my kind of prehab stuff. So mainly from a hip standpoint, we got some mini band single leg step downs, just trying to minimize how much valgus I get at the bottom of that squat, really being able to sink into that hip without getting that pinching in the front of the hip. So right side is the bit of the problematic side. So you can see I'm kind of falling over a little bit. Even what I have to do is I have to really make sure I'm getting good tension on the ground and that I'm keeping some tension out on the band instead of kind of just falling over towards that side. Left side here, you can kind of see it's just a lot smoother. So again, there's always going to be differences side to side, but just given what I have kind of going on from a right hip impingement standpoint, the right side is definitely the problematic side right now. So it's not surprising that there's some big differences side to side. And this is kind of really something where I kind of just like having my warm up being a lot of my kind of rehab / maintenance work more than anything. So I like to do one weight bearing thing. Then I like to do some type of side plank variation. So we got a short lever side plank here with some top leg abduction. So you're going to get a little bit of some glute work on the top, but especially on the bottom leg here more than anything. So using that kind of glute meat on the bottom side to hold up while keeping a good pelvic position and hips forward. We'll kind of finish off with a little bit of an iso hold there just to kind of burn it out. I'll typically do about these warm up and kind of hip pre-up exercise I'm showing. I'll do about 2 rounds of each of them more than anything. So again, we'll switch side to side just to make sure we're staying even there more than anything, but just that we're not kind of creating any more imbalances than we already have. So again, left side here was just a lot easier more than anything. I had to take a little breaks. I was just fatigued more than anything. So I would typically say the side that is more problematic, you do that side first so you're not just kind of fatiguing it out. And then to get a little bit of some hip extension component in here, I'll do a single leg foot elevated bridge. So this box might have been a little bit too high. I was getting a little bit too much hamstring, but really just making sure I can get to the top without getting that pinching on the front of the hip on the right side and keeping that other leg a little bit out to the side to create a little bit of an abduction force on that right side to keep some good alignment while keeping good pelvic position more than anything. So we're going through that there. The top, really just getting a good feel for it, make sure we're getting a good glute activation. Again, left side was definitely a little bit easier, so it's just always good to kind of see what some differences are side to side more than anything, especially when it comes to this type of kind of rehab work. So main lift today was just a 3x5 deadlift. Today's a lower intensity day, so a little more volume. I kept that just about 225. This was, I think, my first set. I mean, the first set just kind of felt just as it usually does on that first set, just slow and kind of sluggish. So it takes me a little bit to kind of get going. So I'm just not really pushing volume crazy. I'm also kind of come off a little bit of a cold. So today was more just a matter of just kind of getting in and getting the work done more than anything. So that's the first set here. Again, you can kind of see I'm already kind of starting to feel it a little bit towards that last rep here. And now we're moving on to I believe this is the last set or the second or the last set, but just a little bit faster overall more than anything coming off the floor. Again, just some good pushing more than anything, good upper back engagement. That's one thing I've noticed, like when I do get a little bit too fatigued and I push it, I lose that upper back positioning more than anything. So that's just one thing I'm always mindful of when I'm going for a little bit more of a volume standpoint with these deadlifts. And again, I can't just drop the weight, so that does take a little bit of some extra energy as well. But I think this was the second set, and yeah, this is my third and final one. So again, just coming up a lot faster, just feeling fresher, not as much time in between. I'm not doing like full touch and goes, but I'm just not taking as much time between more than anything. So that's really that kind of last set here, though, that 3x5 at the same weight. Didn't really feel like making any big jumps or anything today. It was just, again, low intensity day, a little more volume, getting a little bit of some kind of getting the heart rate up a little bit and going from there. So that was our main lift. And then I finished up with just 2 rounds of a circuit, some double kettlebell cleans. I just like adding some kettlebell stuff, just getting that kind of snap and pop feeling. Also just from a little bit of an arm pup too as well. So these are 53-pound kettlebells in each hand. It definitely is challenging. Like you'll feel forearm, bicep, and especially just the hip hinge more than anything. So I think I went for about 10 to 15 reps here more than anything. These can get tough quick. And then we're kind of following that up with a little bit of some single leg holds on the GHD, really just making sure we're getting some good glute contraction here, holding a 25-pound plate. Went for about, I think, 15 to 20-second holds each side. Nothing crazy, but just kind of more so getting a feel of that contraction. And then we're switching sides here, going this way. I mean, the left side is without a doubt much easier to get a good contraction on more than anything compared to my right side. But that's why we do this stuff, is just to make sure we can get a good feeling of where we're at on both sides. So we finished off with that movement, and then the last movement of this round was just some pull-ups, some wide grip pull-ups. So I think I did just 2x8 here more than anything, just getting a little bit of kind of some upper body pump in. I like having this, a couple times a week, just to help feel good.